Imagine a pill that could transform your body by building muscle and burning fat at the same time, without the harsh side effects of steroids or the need for invasive surgery. It sounds like science fiction, but cutting-edge research suggests it may soon be reality. Pharmaceutical companies are racing to develop muscle-enhancing drugs that do just that, and the stakes are enormous. The title of this video isn't hyperbole. A breakthrough Get Fit pill could tap into markets worth hundreds of billions, from obesity treatment to fitness and anti-aging, and potentially make its creator the first trillion-dollar company. In this documentary-style exploration, we'll dive into the science behind these drugs, the stunning results emerging from trials, and how they could revolutionize fitness, medical, and aesthetic industries in the near future. To understand these new drugs, we need to look at how our bodies regulate muscle growth. Our muscles are kept in check by certain proteins, myostatin and activin A, which act as natural brakes on muscle development. In rare cases where these brakes fail, due to genetic mutations, animals or humans can develop extraordinary muscle mass. For example, some cattle breeds like the Belgian Blue lack a functional myostatin gene and grow unusually large, lean muscles. Take a look at this image, a Belgian Blue bull exhibiting the double muscling effect of myostatin deficiency. Myostatin normally limits muscle fiber number and growth. Removing its activity leads to oversized muscles and reduced body fat. Researchers aim to replicate a controlled version of this effect in humans by pharmacologically blocking myostatin and related pathways to boost muscle mass and cut fat. Myostatin was discovered in the late 1990s, and scientists quickly realized that blocking it could dramatically increase muscle size. Moreover, studies showed that animals with disrupted myostatin not only had more muscle, but also less fat than usual. This happens because bigger muscles burn more calories even at rest, so energy is pulled from fat stores. Activin A is another protein in the same family that also limits muscle growth and contributes to muscle wasting. Together, myostatin and activin A form a powerful muscle regulation network, essentially a built-in mechanism to prevent excessive muscle buildup. The new idea in medicine is, what if we release those brakes? If we inhibit myostatin and activin A, muscles should grow or at least be preserved, even during weight loss. Scientists originally tested this concept for muscle-wasting diseases like muscular dystrophy, but now it's being applied to obesity and general fitness. Enter Trevogrumab and Garetosmab, two experimental drugs leading the charge in this muscle-enhancing revolution. Both are fully human monoclonal antibodies, lab-made proteins, designed to latch onto and neutralize those muscle growth inhibitors. Trevogrumab targets myostatin, also known as GDF8, preventing it from signaling muscles to stop growing. Garetosmab binds to activin A, blocking another key pathway that contributes to muscle breakdown. By shutting down these negative regulators, the drugs essentially remove the cap on muscle development. These antibodies are being developed by Regeneron Pharmaceuticals as a one-two punch for improving body composition. Originally, Regeneron's plan was to use them alongside existing weight loss medications. Why? Current blockbuster drugs like Ozempic, semaglutide, and Wegovy help patients lose dramatic amounts of weight by curbing appetite, but up to 30 to 40% of the weight lost can unfortunately be lean muscle. Losing muscle along with fat is not ideal. Muscle is vital for metabolism, strength, and overall health. Regeneron's idea was to pair semaglutide with Trevogrumab, anti-myostatin, and Garetosmab, anti-activin, so that patients could shed fat while keeping their muscles. In essence, semaglutide induces weight loss, and the antibodies ensure that weight loss comes mostly from fat instead of muscle. It's a strategy to improve the quality of weight loss, but the implications go well beyond obesity treatment. If a drug can preserve or increase muscle in a calorie deficit, one can imagine what it might do for an athlete or an average person's physique. This is why fitness experts are buzzing. Could this be the long-awaited alternative to anabolic steroids? Could a simple injection or pill give you the gains of hardcore training without the dangerous side effects of steroids? Dr. Mike Israetel, a renowned sports scientist and bodybuilder, certainly thinks these developments are a game changer. In a recent video, Dr. Mike excitedly described the antibodies as potentially heralding extreme fat loss and side effect-free muscle gain in the coming years, even musing that this could spell the end of traditional steroids for muscle building. He and others predict that whoever successfully brings such a therapy to market will profit on an unprecedented scale, because nearly everyone interested in fitness or weight loss would want it. Early trials are backing up the hype with hard data. Regeneron's phase 2 trial, nicknamed the Courage trial, tested semaglutide, a GLP-1 agonist, combined with Trevogrumab and/or Garetosmab in about 600 adults with obesity. The interim results, announced in 2025, are eye-opening. Patients on semaglutide alone lost weight as expected, but roughly 35% of the weight lost was lean mass, muscle. In contrast, patients who received semaglutide plus the myostatin blocker, Trevogrumab, cut that muscle loss down to only approximately 17% of total weight lost. And those who got the triple combo, semaglutide plus Trevogrumab plus Garetosmab, saw lean mass make up a minuscule 7% of their weight loss. In other words, over 90% of the weight they lost was pure fat, not muscle. Even more astonishing, the triple therapy group achieved the greatest total weight loss, about 13% of their body weight in 26 weeks, versus about 10% for those on semaglutide alone. More fat off and most of the muscle spared, a drastic improvement in body composition. Regeneron reported that combining semaglutide with these antibodies protected lean mass, sparing 50 to 80% of the muscle that would have been lost on semaglutide alone, while actually increasing fat burn beyond what semaglutide achieved by itself. Such results were foreshadowed by preclinical studies. In lab experiments on obese mice and monkeys, blocking myostatin and activin A yielded the dream scenario. The animals kept their muscle mass, or even gained muscle, while losing significantly more fat during a diet. One study noted that adding the dual blockers to a GLP-1 drug led to similar weight reduction, but with profoundly beneficial effects on body composition, not only preserving and increasing lean mass, but also markedly increasing fat loss. In fact, in a monkey trial, the group receiving both Trevogrumab and Garetosmab alongside a weight loss drug actually gained a bit of lean muscle as they shed fat. It's no wonder Dr. Mike Israetel was practically giddy about these findings. They represent something unprecedented. Building muscle while losing fat has been the holy grail of fitness. Here it was happening simultaneously in test animals. The human trials haven't shown outright muscle gain, likely because even with muscle preserved, a calorie deficit still slightly shrinks lean mass. But the muscle retention and extra fat loss are groundbreaking results in themselves. It's important to note that these drugs are still experimental. The Courage trial is ongoing, and while interim data are promising, researchers are monitoring safety closely. In the trial, the dual therapy, semaglutide plus Trevogrumab, was generally well tolerated. However, the triple therapy, adding Garetosmab, saw more side effects. About 28% of patients stopped treatment due to tolerability issues. Regeneron disclosed that 2 patients in the triple combo group passed away during the study. It's unclear if the drug contributed. These events urge caution. As one Reddit commenter Riley noted about Dr. Mike's enthusiasm, every drug has some side effect profile. We must remember this is frontier science. Finding the right balance in safety will be as important as the efficacy. Even so, many experts believe that refined versions of these drugs, perhaps lower doses or different combinations, will eventually become viable for wide use. If muscle-boosting, fat-melting drugs like Trevogrumab and Garetosmab fulfill their promise, they could disrupt multiple industries and traditional approaches. Fitness and bodybuilding. One of the first industries to feel the impact, bodybuilding and fitness. Steroids like testosterone and trenbolone have long been the go-to for muscle growth, but they come with heavy side effects, liver damage, hormonal issues, and serious health risks. Now imagine this, a legal injection that tells your muscles to grow without flooding your body with hormones. That's what myostatin and activin blockers like Trevogrumab and Garetosmab promise. Dr. Mike Israetel even said we could be witnessing the end of steroids. Why mess with shady black market gear when a doctor-prescribed antibody could do the job safer and better? Of course, top-level sports will likely ban these as performance enhancers, but for everyday lifters, this could be the new secret weapon. Personal trainers might soon be hearing, should I lift or just get the Myostatin shot? Medical and weight loss treatments, then there's medicine and weight loss. Ozempic and Wegovy are great at helping people drop pounds, but they also cause major muscle loss, which can slow your metabolism and increase the risk of regaining fat. That's where these new muscle-preserving drugs come in. Trevogrumab and Garetosmab could make weight loss safer and longer-lasting by helping patients keep their muscle mass. Experts say the real game changer is combining them with a GLP-1 like Ozempic. Eat less, lose fat, keep your strength. This could also help the elderly and people recovering from illness. As we age, we lose muscle, a condition called sarcopenia, which leads to weakness and falls. A treatment that helps them lose fat and gain muscle? That's not just cosmetic, that's life-changing. Cosmetic and aesthetic industry. And finally, let's talk looks. Right now, if you want a lean, muscular body, your options include liposuction, body sculpting surgeries, or pricey non-surgical procedures. But if these drugs work, forget surgery. Just a few injections and your body reshapes over weeks. Clinics could offer body transformation injections as a cosmetic alternative. And psychologically, this changes everything. Right now, people fear looking weak or older after weight loss because of muscle loss. But with these treatments, you could come out looking lean and toned. That's powerful motivation. Expect massive demand from celebrities to everyday clients. These drugs won't just be about fitness, they'll be about confidence, youth, and reinvention. Behind all of this excitement is the gleam of a massive financial opportunity. The global appetite for weight loss and muscle gain solutions is virtually limitless. To put some numbers in perspective, analysts project that the obesity drug market, thanks to drugs like Ozempic, could reach about $150 billion per year in the early 2030s. And that's just for weight loss medications. The broader weight management industry, including diets, supplements, fitness programs, and medical treatments, is on track to approach $900 billion in global revenue by 2035. Add in the fitness, gym, and sports nutrition markets, plus the cosmetic surgery market, tens of billions of dollars. And you can see why people say trillion-dollar opportunity. Whichever company perfects a pill or injection that reliably helps people get leaner and more muscular stands to capture a huge slice of this pie. Big Pharma is already pouring money into this space. Regeneron isn't alone. Rivals like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are also investing heavily to solve the muscle loss problem and enhance body composition. Lilly, for instance, acquired a biotech, Versanis, for nearly $2 billion, mainly to get its hands on Biotech, another Myostatin activin pathway antibody, betting that it can be combined with Lilly's own obesity drugs. Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic, has licensed a new experimental compound to stay ahead in the game. There are also companies like Scholar Rock working on Apitegromab, a myostatin activator inhibitor, and even smaller labs exploring oral pills that influence muscle signals. It's a veritable arms race to develop the first safe, effective muscle booster medication. Investors know that such a breakthrough would not only grab a chunk of the obesity market, but also extend into sports medicine, anti-aging therapy, and beyond. One consulting group projected these muscle-preserving drugs could generate $1 to $5 billion a year by the end of this decade, and that could be just the beginning. If a pharma company can market a pill that essentially replaces both your diet pill and your protein shake or steroid injection, an all-in-one body transformation drug, the profits could be astronomical over time. And it's not just companies. Entire industries stand to be reshaped. Gyms and fitness programs might need to adapt, perhaps emphasizing maintenance and health over pure body transformation if the hard work can be pharmaceutically achieved. The supplement industry, protein powders, etc., might pivot to complement these drugs, for example, catering to those on myostatin blockers who need extra protein to feed new muscle. On the other hand, a widely successful muscle fat loss pill could expand the fitness market by motivating people who were previously too intimidated or who didn't see results. The medical cost savings could also be huge. Obesity and muscle wasting related conditions cost healthcare systems hundreds of billions annually. A treatment that tackles both could reduce long-term costs, fewer fractures in frail seniors, fewer obesity complications. Another reason $1 trillion isn't a far-fetched valuation when you account for societal impact. So, when can you get this magic pill? Caution is warranted. It's unlikely you'll find Trevogrumab or Garetosmab at your local pharmacy in the next year or two. These drugs are still in trials and will need to prove not only efficacy but safety and tangible health benefits to gain regulatory approval. The US FDA, for example, has indicated that simply preserving muscle isn't enough. A drug should show improved patient outcomes, like better physical function or additional fat loss, to justify approval for obesity treatment. Early results are encouraging on that front. Patients on combination therapy did lose more fat and kept their strength. But larger and longer studies will be crucial. Safety is the other big question. Myostatin and activin pathways exist for a reason, and tinkering with them might have unintended consequences. Some previous myostatin inhibitors failed due to side effects or insufficient benefits. Garetosmab, in particular, has shown more side effects at higher doses. Recall the COURAGE trial's higher dropout rate with the triple combo. Companies will likely experiment with dosing or intermittent schedules to find a sweet spot that maximizes muscle gains without undue risk. Dr. Mike Israetel, in his optimistic outlook, guessed that we might see these treatments become available around 2027 or so, a timeline that might be a bit hopeful, but not impossible if Phase 3 trials go well. Realistically, we may first see these antibodies used in special cases, like severe muscle-wasting illnesses or in conjunction with obesity surgery, before they're widely available for general fitness or cosmetic use. There's also the possibility of oral drugs in this class down the line. Currently, Trevogrumab and Garetosmab are injections, but researchers are exploring pill formulations that affect similar pathways for ease of use. The first company to crack the code of a safe, effective muscle fat recomposition therapy will not only save millions of people's health and confidence, it will also reap a fortune. As the saying goes in pharma, solve a problem that ails billions of people, and you'll make billions or more in return. In this case, whoever makes this pill may indeed earn $1 trillion in the long run, considering the global demand. We stand at the brink of a potential paradigm shift in fitness and medicine. The idea of transforming one's body composition pharmacologically, gaining muscle and losing fat with a shot or a pill, has moved from fantasy toward plausible reality. Emerging drugs like Trevogrumab and Garetosmab show that we can target the very mechanisms that limit muscle growth and unleash a new level of physical transformation. The economic incentives are driving rapid development, and the early science is extremely promising. It's as if all the separate threads, the weight loss drug boom, advances in biotechnology, and our timeless desire for healthier, stronger bodies, are converging. The next decade could witness the arrival of what some are calling exercise in a pill, or the end of steroids and crash diets.